HCA Houston Healthcare. The one who shows up, the one you trust for life.
Same old phone? Nah. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7.
Got it.
Listen, hey party people, hey Chanel's Angels. Listen, I was watching Make It Make Sense. I love me some Make It Make Sense. He's just smart. He's intelligent. You know, you're not gonna just put anything past him. He's not an unattractive guy. He's just an all around good guy. So shout out to Mims. Make It Make Sense. And I feel like more than anything, he is a fair content creator. He does research or has people researching, and I'm with it because I can't stand when people just get on here and just say shit like they know it's the truth and they really don't have no facts. They just have a whole bunch of alleged inside sources, and it don't have to even be these people. It could be TMZ. It could be any major pretending fake news outlet. But at any rate, we are here. And I just was watching some of his videos on some of the Jayz stuff, some of the court stuff, and I just wanted to share it with y'all. You know, shout out to Make It Make Sense. I'll put his let me put his channel in the subscription. Go on over there and subscribe to his channel, because you know, like I said, if you want fair and funny and entertaining content, he's definitely your guy for sure. He's one of those people. He's like everybody's friend, in my opinion. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it.
When he did this face, he could have told that girl how to pronounce it. I told y'all Karamo's about to be the next Maury. Wait for it. Karamo is going to be the next. Okay, we got a few topics. I want to start with Phaedra and Dr. Heavenly real quick. So Dr. Heavenly is running for Georgia State rep, and so is Creonta. Now, y'all know I really see it for Dr. Heavenly. I done told y'all what you see is not necessarily what you get, the character that she plays on television. I was invited to her, I don't know what you would call it, like when she's letting the public know that she's going to be running. But of course, you guys know I'm still here in New York, so I couldn't have gone. But shout out to her. Based on some of the people we see in office, I feel like anybody who feels like they could do better should go ahead and run. So shout out to Dr. Heavenly. For Creonta to run, the only thing that I need to know is...
Yes, ma'am.
So what's next? Is there a career you haven't tried?
You know what? My favorite thing is politics. Oh.
Now, here's the thing. She was married to a felon. That felon told us that his ill-gotten gains were paying the mortgage at her home that she had prior to her new mansion. I want to see the records. Right. She's going to fit right in. I definitely want to see the records. Apollo says specifically that he was forced to pay the mortgage. And we all know he was tricking off $10,000 a night at the strip club. And these were all ill-gotten gains that he went to prison for, I believe, like 6 or 7 years for. I want to see the receipts. Go ahead and let us know that you didn't do anything wrong. It was all Apollo. He wasn't paying the rent, and then I'll be okay with it.
Receipts? Do I need to bring the receipts, baby girl? Because I got receipts.
Everyone's talking about the pink salt trick that melts fat while you sleep, but does it really work? This is the last time I'm sharing it here. The truth is, if you've been using salt and ice once a week and still haven't lost inches off your waist, you're doing it wrong. And I say that because just this morning, I looked at the exact spot where I keep my pink salt.
Right. Angela Stanton said the same stuff too. Okay, but let's get into this. Let's start off with Superhead. So her name is no longer Superhead. We all know this. I think it's like Elizabeth Overstreet is now her stage name. I have questions. If you've been following me, you know in my studio is her original book, Confessions of a Video Vixen. I know it from cover to cover. That's why when I saw this interview, I thought it was extremely interesting because I've always believed the things that she said about Diddy. She was very forthcoming with who she slept with, and she gave details. I'm not accustomed to this version of her. I don't know the inflections in her voice. What is this Elizabethan accent that she has going? I don't know what's going on, but you guys take a listen.
I posed questions in that book that that I think sent certain people down the direction that leads us to where we are now.
What does that even mean?
Just explain that a little more. What were the questions you think that you're talking about?
Well,
she's never at a loss for words.
Honestly, I'm just now getting context on a lot of the questions that I had then. After the trial gave me way more context. But just about, I think, his sexual proclivities and what we saw.
I love that they are giving us narration through this, his sexual proclivities.
And hanging out with him, the kind of clubs he took us to, even conversations he and I had. One in particular where I didn't understand it at the time. And honestly, Piers, I'm getting new understanding about this line of questioning. I wrote about this in Confessions where my boyfriend and I at the time had gone to his home for New Year's Eve, Christmas, New Year's Eve kind of.
Exhibit was not her boyfriend. It was she was dating, but it was Exhibit.
Festivities. And he pulled me to the side and was just like, we're friends, right? We're friends. And I was like, yeah, we're friends. And like, we're good. And I'm like, yeah, we're good. And I couldn't figure out what he meant. And I wrote about this where I didn't know what he was talking about. And he just kind of went on to say, I have kids, I have a mom. And
I don't know why she's not giving context. Like I said, I know this book from back to front. What she alleged is Exhibit took her to one of these big New Year parties in Miami. Diddy pulled Exhibit to the side and said, watch out for the girl you're with. She'll have her fingers in your booty and she'll tell everybody.
Wait.
Exhibit went back and told Corinne this. Corinne wrote about it in her book. That's not too hard. It's not too much to expound on. It's actually pretty cut and dry. Corinne was also not really sure why he would single her out. They had one sexual encounter that we'll get to in a minute.
Anything got out, it would really hurt them. And I honestly, at that point in stage, did not know or remember what he was talking about. And so we just kind of laughed it off. Like, what's going on with him? And things that he said to my boyfriend, like.
Somebody said this is how she's always talked. No, she's always spoken very well. She's a very articulate woman, but this extra accent that she's putting on, it's like Oprah when she goes to London. She starts like picking up this somewhat British accent. Lindsay Lohan, when she was in Dubai, spoke as if she was from that country. Madonna, when she was trying to clean up her image and she wasn't licking butt, she had a British accent. Like, this is not the way Superhead used to speak.
Don't trust her. She might have her on video with
basically,
in precarious positions. And this is back before cell phone cameras. So I was just like, what video? I didn't understand any of it.
Now that is interesting. She's not even recognizing Diddy was the one with videos. Right. And we're not talking about secret recordings. We're talking about the fact that it is a known thing that Diddy has video cameras all throughout his homes and actually outside and some in bushes. Diddy is the one, but if he's paranoid and allegedly, he might be on a little Tucci or something, he might be he might be nervous about her because she likes to talk about her sexual exploits, but he might be mixing up who has the videos because that is allegedly Diddy.
Now, after the trial and the things that have come out from the trial, this gives these conversations a lot more context. But at the time when confessions came out, it did make us all wonder, what was he so afraid of? I didn't even know what I had seen or didn't see, or if this happened that I didn't remember from our time together. But he was very afraid.
Are you on mute? I couldn't hear you.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right. How you doing? You doing good?
I'm doing good, but I'm just tearing out today. The only reason I sound like that is because I got retainers though, so.
You got who?
I got retainers, you know the thing that you
Oh,
put in.
retainers. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we just listening to Make It Make Sense. He's one of my favorite content creators, and I was just watching some of his videos, and so I was like, this should be interesting. Actually, I was watching another one of his videos that I'm gonna play next about. He was talking about Kanye and Jayz and some other people, but I'm just
That's
like
interesting. Wait, but I did see the titles, but that was very interesting though, actually, because I actually saw a video about that today though, actually. Literally saw a video about it though come across my timeline or something like that though. Notice that though, they were talking about it though, about it and his alleged son or something like that, because the paternity hasn't really, hasn't come out yet, and it's not
you know,
official yet, but yeah, I know
you mean
about
with
it, man.
Jayz? Is that who you're
Yeah.
referring to? Gotcha.
Yeah,
So
Jayz,
yeah,
yeah.
I know that it hasn't come out yet. The reason that, because I always am gonna say allegedly, but the reason that I put that in the title is because I saw it somewhere else. I don't know. This is what my prediction is. I predict that even though the guy that's claiming he might be Jay-Z's son or whatever, even though he looks like him, I've just watched way too many Maury shows where I'm like, I thought that he looked just like the baby, and then he ain't the baby. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't the daddy. So I do think that, but this is what I do think truly. I think it's very possible that that's Jay-Z's son, but I also think it's highly possible that it's also not Jay-Z's son. But either way,
I
I
feel
think
you on that though.
is scared as hell.
Well, to be honest though, like I feel you on what you're saying though, because it's a slight possibility it could be though, because in some way the people saying that he looks the same, like, Jay and stuff like that though, because the way he look, and I kind of get that though, because genetically and stuff like that though. And also though, like he knows a lot as well though. Like
The
it's
thing
not
I
just
can't
because,
understand though,
no, yeah, but I was just saying though, is he's not the way he's saying it allegedly though, is he knows a lot as well, basically. Like he's done his research really well though, and he's saying no, he's not after his money or all of that though. He just basically wants to know the truth though. He's not really looking for the lost time or whatever. Because I actually saw a video about it though. I don't know, a few hours back though. Someone was talking about it. I can't remember where I saw it, but I kind of heard about this though, because I kind of watch people talk about it. So, where you just explain that's a side possibility, yes, and it's also a side possibility, no, because you never know.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing that makes me, yeah, he does have features that look like Jay-Z. He does. I'll give them that much. But if it's not your son and you have everything to lose, he has nothing to lose, really. Then why not test? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know the truth doesn't need defending, and I feel like he shouldn't have to take the test if he doesn't want to. But if you running around and have been for years saying that these people are harassing you because they keep saying that this is your child, and you had sex with the mom and all this kind of stuff, you could just categorically say, I never had sex with that lady, and here's my DNA to prove that's not my son. But if you had sex with her and allegedly she was like 14, 15 years old, or 15, 16, something like that, then that's problematic because you were in your 20s.
Yeah.
So I don't know who to believe, to be honest with you.
No, that's what I was thinking too. I feel you on what you're saying though, because that kind of makes sense though in a way, probably back then as well. And also the kind of scene like in the video the earlier, someone was talking about, he since he's got a lot of money though, he's probably doing other tactics as well though to basically get this covered up and stuff like that, and like intimidating and stuff like that. That's what I've heard. I'm gonna say alleged though.
I agree. Allegedly, I don't know none of these people. We wasn't there, so we don't know. But I do agree. Just it's sort of to me. I used to before I had a YouTube channel. I didn't believe a lot of the stuff that people would say because people do have no. Once you become semi-famous, you could even be a housewife somewhere, right? You don't even really
Mhm.
fame, but you got fame, from being on Bravo or whatever the case may be. People are automatically, immediately, if you have a husband or whatever, there's gonna be people in his DMs, your cousin's DMs, your mama DM. It's coming, and so you gotta kind of know that from the jump. But people are going to. Some people are savage. So if you're savage, if you hanging around people that are savage, it's gonna be problematic, and it's going to catch up with you at some point. But I do think that people also feel like, well, they're celebrities, so we could say whatever we want. We can try to extort them. We can do whatever because they're the ones who chose to be, have a public life. But I do think that that should have some sort of limits. And I'm sure that a lot of people try to extort them. But
Yeah,
the
that
thing is,
makes sense
when I come
though.
back around to Jay-Z, I'm just like, if you didn't do it, you wasn't there, you didn't have sex with that lady, and that ain't your child, that's fine. Just take the test. What is stopping you from taking the test? That's all you
Yeah.
gotta do. You cleared your name up 30 years ago.
Yeah, that is true though, but isn't it when it comes to that type of thing, anything major when it comes to that type of thing, doesn't he like normally, not just like basically legally behind the scene type deal with it, doesn't he just normally come out and instantly say something as quick as possible before anyone else can catch it and clear his name as quick as possible? Cause like I'll say allegedly though as well though, basically in a way that, if he didn't do it, let's say if he didn't do it though, why didn't and he keeps saying, look, I didn't do it. But then if he, just takes to the point that how long, I don't know, how long does it take to actually, at some point, though, it's a slight possibility he did, though. And I'm not basically, just perspective in a way, because I'm not going to call out to mean other people's sins, though. Because me, myself, I could commit worse stuff, though. And that same stuff can be exposed. So I just give perspective, and based on that type of thing, like based off what you're saying, no, because there's a slight possibility of truth in it, though. And also,
Yeah,
they'll probably like, for him, I've always felt one more thing. I probably feel like he was, though. I felt like, in a way, that no disrespect to him, no, he's talented in his own way, but I feel like he fake, though. The way he is, though. Because literally, though, the way people talk about him, other people he worked with, how they talk about him and stuff like that, he had problems with and stuff like that. And, like probably like, let me think as well. Oh, wait, Tupac as well. A long time ago, Tupac, though, was like literally exposed. Literally, Tupac literally destroyed him on a song called Die Slow and stuff like that, though.
who
Because,
did it or
no, no,
Jay-Z?
no, 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 not just Diddy, Jay-Z as well. Tupac had a problem with Jay-Z and he dissed Jay-Z on a song called Die Slow.
Oh,
So probably back then, that's what Tupac did. He literally went in hard on Jay-Z, like literally said, "My memory ain't bad. How you go from Hawaii, Sophie, to like basically the king of New York?" Because he claimed he was king of New York, and basically he used to be different back then, though, and his image and stuff like that, though, and his style and stuff like that, though, because he took his style, and even his own mentor basically came out hard on him, basically.
I think that none of these people could be trusted. I think all of them could be lying about something. Um, and you never know. I think that if you get to digging in just even a little bit on YouTube, and I'm not saying everything on YouTube is actually true or even has a whole bunch of truth, because there's lots of people that come on here and they don't have any credibility it's just them. It's YouTube. It's just this person saying whatever it is. And other people sometimes will believe them because they agree or whatever the case may be. But the thing is with Jay-Z and Diddy and a whole bunch of other people like them in the industry, they have very similar past, or they know very similar type people who've been accused of very similar things like sexual assault. So to me, I don't have no friends or people I hang out with that have been accused of sexual assault. So if it's one thing to have one person that's been accused. It's a whole another thing to have 5, 6, 7, 8 people that you've been at their parties, you hanging out with them, you doing, business deals. And that's not to say you're always going to know, somebody's deep, dark secrets and what they're doing. But I am saying once it's more than 1 or 2 people, then it's problematic. And his name keeps coming up in a lot of things that are unsavory. So I definitely think that Jay-Z about to go down soon after Diddy, but I don't know if Diddy actually going to jail. I don't know if they're going to let him out. I have no idea what's going on, but it seems like
No, I feel you
a
on
lot of
that.
evidence. It seems like the feds had a lot of evidence, and and I didn't watch it, but I'm just saying from what I heard, it seems like they had a lot of evidence, but then it seemed like what I think happened with this trial is that they brought up all these witnesses, and they said, the witnesses, a lot of them, from what I understand, were like, yeah, I liked it. I was there. I wanted to be there and all this kind of stuff. So basically it kind of took the steam out of this man is some sort of, super criminal, sexual deviant, because these people wanted to be there. And so it lends credence to the narrative that, oh, well, these people wanted to be there anyways. This was just grown people doing stuff they wanted to do. But to me, for the feds to have that much evidence to do all that they did to get there, and then suddenly all he's being charged with is prostitution, it just feels very much like Epstein, because that's exactly what happened with Epstein. He got charged at the end of the day with what is it called? With prostitution, which we all know isn't some sort of major crime. Like, people go to jail for it, but it's not no major crime. So it's like, it felt like to me that somebody paid some of those witnesses to go up there and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna give you this $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever it is. Y'all go up there and say y'all was into it. What difference does it make you $5,000 richer or 10,000 or whatever it is? Because he did the same thing with Shine. When Shine went to prison for him for 9.5 years, he paid from, well, I won't say he paid them, but I'll say allegedly, he had people, him and his attorneys, Diddy is who I'm talking about when I say he, have people go and testify against Shine. And it was like, you were the one that was in the club doing the stuff. Y'all were the ones that got pulled over. You were the one that shot the lady in the
That's
face.
interesting, though. That's
So
interesting. Though. I share this with you as well. Though. One time, I think last year as well, there was this false rumor of a UK rap star. His name's Gig, though, right? False rumor, though, basically. This rumor is, they say Giggs is basically Diddy's UK supplier for drugs and stuff like that, though. It's not true, though, because literally the man came out and he literally said that. It's not that I know him or no. So, okay, it's not I don't know him personally, though, but the way he moves and the way he is, though, he don't move like that, though. And he literally said that, though. And the guy that basically spread the rumor provided no evidence, because he just basically said it on, first he said it on Twitter, and secondly, the guy is basically the guy that spread the rumor. His name Young Spray, and basically Spray is Giggs' rival slash his up. So basically his up is there to slander him. So that's two things that kind of made me not believe. And third, he never really showed any evidence, though, of any victim literally naming, the man that he made the rumor about. He didn't show no proof of no victim, or he didn't basically show screenshots, prove nothing, no. Because, and also Spray is also he has his own podcast as well, and he's known for saying controversial things, turning his guests into content, stuff like that. And Spray used to be a rapper back in the day. So that's why I don't believe that rumor of Giggs being Spray saying Giggs is Diddy's UK supplier because of that, because he provided no proof. To the way I felt, the way I saw it is Spray is mad that he never made it to the same position as Giggs though, because Spray wants to be Giggs though. Because look, Spray is stuck in the UK on a podcast, but he could have been Giggs long time ago in Musically, you know? Literally, he could have just focused on music back then and he could be in the same position, but he didn't though. He's just mad on the podcast and he's stuck in the UK while his gigs is basically international.
Right. No, I agree. I think it's a lot. It's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot to try to figure out with all of the stuff that's happening in the world and in the celebrity news world and all of that. But you never know. All I can tell you that I know for sure is you can't trust everybody, unfortunately.
No, I know. Yeah,
So,
that's not just with celebrity. That's just basically in general, though. I feel you on what you're saying, though. Because that history can't really trust no human in a way. Like, basically, of course, there are people you can trust, though. They're genuine people. They'll have good spirit, good heart, good soul, all of that type of thing. Because
right.
that's what I've got. But basically, even I know, basically, me, myself, in a way, even though I value loyalty, I know deep down inside, though, in general, though, it's just not against nobody. In general, of course, of course there will be people like that, though, and you have to, keep your guard up when it comes to that type of thing, though. And there are people you can trust like that. Though. I feel you know what you're saying, though, because it technically makes sense, though, in a way, because you just know what human nature truly is, though. One that will never let you down, though, is the one that created you. That's the only one who'll never let you down.
I agree. Well, let's keep listening to what Mr. Make It Make Sense has to say. 1 second.
Okay, please do.
Do you actually have any kind of sexual relationship with Diddy at all?
No, Diddy and I did not know. Well, not to my knowledge.
Hey, Coach Ferg.
What?
She said not to her knowledge. Girl, stop.
What? What do you mean not to your knowledge?
Right.
I don't have the book right here, but I'm telling you, I know it like back to front. So we'll say allegedly. But allegedly in the book, she details a time that dude from Murder Inc., who she was sleeping with while he was married, I guess also along at the same time as Ashanti.
Oh.
They were high one day and he introduces her to Diddy. At the time, what I liked about Elizabeth, Corinne, Superhead, whatever you want to call her, was she was somebody who has agency over her own body. She didn't sleep with any more men than the rapper slept with women. In fact, they probably slept with more, but she had agency over her own body. She turned nothing and made it something. Technically, Superhead stripped so Drea could run. Basically, that's what it amounts to. There were video girls, but there was nobody willing to go all out, be basically naked, sleep with whomever, and then write about it. She walked so all of these rappers' girlfriends and influencers could run. I don't know how else to say it. It is what it is. And I like that about her. She had agency over her own body. She did what she wanted to do when she wanted to do it. Maybe she's a little crazy, but who isn't?
Right.
But this version, this is not the truth. In the book, she specifically says that Murder Inc. CEO introduced her to Diddy. They were both high. Then Diddy sent for her. There was a car. She went to his mansion. He was very delicate with her, but they had a sexual, consensual experience, whatever you want to call it. And she had nothing bad to say about him. What do you mean now you don't recall?
Right.
So, what do you mean by that?
Not to my knowledge. I don't. Honestly, I'm questioning a lot of things right now.
What you think?
So not to my knowledge. I don't think anything right now. Just not to my knowledge, because honestly,
that's a very strange response to not remember whether you did or not.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Now,
That's all I'm saying.
When a lot of the Diddy stuff came out, she had a few blurbs in press. And what she said was she acknowledged that maybe she, at a time, she thought she had agency over her own body. She was actually being used and manipulated and just thought, I'm just having a good time with people. She almost made it seem like that interaction between Irv Gotti and Diddy was more like a pass off. But to say that what's in your book, you're not sure, I don't really know how to process that. You guys can put in the chat.
Listen,
I don't have the book in front of me, but I'm pretty sure.
There's two ways to process that. The way you process that is either A, she lied to begin with, or B, she's lying now, or C, somebody then scared the hell out of her and she want to go and just say, I don't remember. Or D, she wants to protect her, whatever her reputation is, and doesn't want to be aligned with anything going on with Diddy and saying that he was a good guy in any capacity. That's my opinion.
Or that's how the Diddy chapter went. He was very gentle with her. He sent for her. It was a car. Everything was really nice. There was nothing crazy about the sex. So what don't you remember now? I'm with Pierce. Like, I wish Pierce almost had like a fact checker,
right,
to go through her book, because you put it in black and white. And that book, guarantee you, because there were so many high profile people, because no one had ever, there were no Brittany Renners around at the time, basically. Nobody had done what she had done as successfully at the time. So they knew lawsuits were going to come. They fact checked these things. She wasn't allowed just to put anything in the book.
Right.
So what do you mean? She's too smart for this. I don't understand.
Yeah, isn't it? It is. Yeah, it is. Because honestly, Pierce, before I went through my text, again, I hadn't read Confessions in 20 years. I wrote it. It was painful to write. So I never wanted to re-traumatize myself and go through those years again. And think about this.
You didn't just put it out and never read it. That book was everywhere. You did talk shows about it. You could have done a thesis paper on that. I'm more than sure there were times that you did book signings where you read chapters aloud. This is not something that's just been on your shelf that you did not pull out. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know that I can't make sense of the angle. And y'all know when I can't make something make sense, I just keep pulling at the thread.
Middle-aged woman at this point. I don't want to go back into my 20s and see what happened. But in gathering information for this interview here, reading that passage again for the first time in 20 years.
Let's keep it a buck. Hold on.
So
you about to go on the Piers Morgan show where they're going to ask you some crazy, probably uncomfortable questions and whatever else. And this is the time that you choose to not want to go back to your 20s and read about what the hell you said. You want people to make you seem like you're crazy, or you want to come prepared, and so that you can rebuttal with whatever it is that they're saying. So I always say, listen, if it don't add up, there's a lie somewhere. So either she lying now or she was lying then. But go ahead, Mr. Rizzo. What do you have to say?
I'm gonna say that for you. You're saying no, but I'm gonna say it's C and D because I feel like it's both though, because it's very complicated. Maybe you're right though. There's a slight possibility of some lies and some truth in it though. So probably like she's basically blending both in between. So sometimes though, when it comes to that type of thing though, like it's kind of like we weren't really there though in a way. So I kind of feel you on what you're saying though, because it does actually make sense in a way. But also at the same time though, there's maybe a slight possibility of what she's saying is true to a certain degree, but not on everything, basically. Just a little bit, though. Because I feel like it's very complicated, though. And maybe that's what she noticed herself, though. Because maybe deep down inside, she knows it's a very complicated type of thing. And it's been a very long, long time. And she's trying to go back, very long, all the way back, you know, to actually try and remember so much what happened in that time or whatever she was going through in that time. No, I ain't accusing nothing though. She's fully responsible on what she's going through though and what she did back then. But also I won't really, you know, there's a slight, I'm gonna have to take it with a grain of salt because there might be a slight possibility of some truth in it though. Some of it. Like with a grain of salt, basically.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. Let's finish listening to what he has to say or what she has to say.
Questioned a lot of things like, well, why was he so afraid?
I'm not assuming. This was in her book, and I took it as truth. I'm not assuming in the book. You mean I'm assuming that she read it. I mean, we can go back to the talk shows. I remember a lot of the Superhead interviews from DJ Vlad, Tyra Banks, Oprah Winfrey, her interviews about dating that old washed up white guy. I can't remember his name. I remember so many things that she said, detailing later how Papa was Method Man. I would say I was actually a Superhead fan.
Oh.
Bill Maher, exactly.
Are you researching dental implants?
There's a lot of dental offices that'll talk about doing their teeth in the day process. A lot of times what they mean is they'll do the surgery
And why did he try to, make my boyfriend feel as if I wasn't trustworthy? And
do you think he took advantage of you when you were under the influence of alcohol and drugs?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
But do you fear that's the case now from everything you've read?
Honestly, yes. Given the context, now that I know, because again, I never knew any of these things about him before. So the things that I learned in the trial, I did not know. I never saw that side of him. I did not know. I never understood. And again, in 2005, when I published Confessions, it says I didn't understand why he was so fearful of me, because our time together was pleasant. And I was like, wait, what is he so afraid of? What does he not want me to tell? I didn't see anything at that point. At that point, I hadn't seen anything. At that point, we had, I thought, just a friendly, platonic night together. So I was confused then. And 20 years later, I'm confused now. So to my knowledge, I've never had sex with Sean Combs. We never had that kind of relationship.
But you can't be sure.
Given what we know now, I can't be sure. I posed questions in that book that I think sent certain people down the direction that leads us to where we are now.
This woman is a riddle wrapped in a mystery and an enigma. I don't even know. Buddy Brown, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Guys, we got over 2,000 in the chat. Definitely hit that like button. Let's move into Nicki Minaj. Let me start here. It says, oops, Megan Thee Stallion and Roc Nation can't dismiss cameraman's lawsuit where he claims he was forced to watch Meg have sex in a moving car. Whoa. Judge says it's reasonable to believe Megan allegedly did it in front of him because he's gay. Now, cameraman Emilio Garcia says the 2022 incident created a hostile work environment. Megan Thee Stallion and Roc Nation must keep a lawsuit from her cameraman who claims he was forced to watch Meg have sex in a moving car while on tour in Ibiza. Wow. It created a hostile work environment and that his hours and pay were cut after he complained, eventually getting him fired and blackballed in the industry. Megan and Roc Nation tried to get the case tossed, calling Garcia a con artist, but the judge said his discrimination and retaliation claims are solid enough to move forward. The judge agreed it's reasonable to believe Megan only did the alleged group sex in front of Garcia because of his sexuality and that he was punished for speaking up. While some of Garcia's claims, like extra wage demands and a California-based harassment claim, were dropped, the major parts of the lawsuit are still alive. Garcia's lawyer says more facts will be added in a revised filing. No comment yet from Meg's camp. I like Megan. I definitely like Megan Thee Stallion. But Megan Thee Stallion is another person who is very open about her sexual exploits. Could I see Megan having sex in front of this dude? Yes. He's not interested in them. Megan, I believe, is openly bisexual. Could I see her doing it? It's Ibiza. Could it involve chemsex? Sure, maybe. I don't know. Megan likes her tequila.
I didn't know.
And acknowledges some of the mistakes she's made on it. Let's be clear, because there's a conversation going on now. It makes my head hurt, where we're talking about Cassie versus Clayton. If this boy who is gay and not interested in women was in a car and his boss decides to bust somebody down in front of him, at the very least, he has a sexual harassment claim. He wasn't touched, so it's not sexual assault, but at the very least, he has a sexual harassment claim. And the new fight that I'm seeing is Cassie's not a victim, but acknowledging that Clayton is a victim. Clayton being the escort that both Cassie and Jane used. Let me say this much. If Clayton's allegations are that he was sexually assaulted, okay. But his claim of being a victim comes from specifically him receiving an STD allegedly from Cassie.
Oh.
I have a few questions. Did you get you're an escort? How are you certain that this particular STD came from Cassie? That's a fair question. You're not in a relationship with them. Whatever Cassie has, Diddy has, like I don't understand.
And they all have it. As far as I'm concerned, let me go ahead and pause this right here. They listen, I don't know none of these people. I wasn't there. But I ain't never had an STD. Okay? Never had an STD in my life. But my thing is, if you catch or diagnosed with some sort of STD that is not curable, that starts with the letter H, or well, two of them start with the letter H. But at any rate, if that happens, and it happens to people, people sometimes, they in the feeling and they don't want to put on condoms, whatever it is what it is. But if that happens, I'm always going to be questioning every person that is having sex with you after that. I happen to know a few people that do have STDs that you can't get rid of. I'm like, how does it work when you getting ready to have a baby? Because I could never understand when they would get into relationships. I'm like, well, we can't have no sexual relationship and there isn't any we both need to be serviced downtown. That shit is mandatory. Okay. So yeah, I need to be able to push my legs all the way back, and you can, that needs to happen. And especially if you're in a serious relationship, committed relationship, you're married, you're gonna probably be doing a lot. But my thing is, if you're in a loving relationship with somebody and you have, or they have one of those STDs you can't get rid of, how are you having babies? And I know people that have had babies and they have those. And I'm like, so is this person just agreeing to also get an STD with you? The love is that strong? I don't have it. Listen, my love ain't that strong for nobody. Sorry. So, but I'm not those people in those situations, so I don't know. And like I said, I've never had an STD, so I don't know. But the one thing I do know is that I guess when you have like herpes or something, you have outbreaks. So I guess there are periods of time where, I wouldn't say, because I'm not a medical doctor, but I guess there are times where maybe it's not as easy to necessarily transmit it from one person to another sexually. But I'm like, if your boyfriend or your husband has a herp and he's going to want you to give him blowjobs and whatever, aren't you then gonna have the hurt? Like, and then if he has it and he's impregnating her, isn't she gonna have it? Or vice versa? Like, I don't understand it, but so my thing is, I said all that to say, I'm like, everybody who's in Diddy's orbit of sexual whatever, I'm looking at them like everybody got it. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about the people who unwillingly, people who were sexually assaulted or something like that. I'm not talking about those people. I'm saying they possibly still have it, especially if people sexually assaulting them. But the people who were, I guess, knowingly, publicly, in a relationship with this man, I'm looking at all y'all like, because did he get it after J-Lo or did he already have it with J-Lo? I mean, because that one guy, he's so funny. What is his name? Damn it. He was on That's So Raven show. Oh, I forget his name. But he was like, oh God, now I have to find it. Hold on. I have to find it because it's just so funny. Let me see if I can find him. What is his name? Orlando Brown. He talking about because you gave me the ooshkosh fookosh. I have to find it. It was so fucking hilarious. Is this it? I'm not happy that this young man has been treated this way, but the way he says it, I see why he was a star because he's funny as fuck. Okay, so look, I'm going to share my screen. I'm gonna stop sharing this one. I'm gonna start sharing. Don't judge me. Where is it? Is it this one? No, it must be. No, it's not that one either. Nope. Okay, here we go. He's funny. So when he says this, all I can think about is everybody was being honest except him. But maybe they all, and I hope that they did, all used sexual protection or condoms or whatever to protect themselves from that. So let's just listen because I think it's just so funny.
Yo, Diddy, you gave me the ooshkash smash. You gave me the ooshkash muaf, the smooth smash. Diddy. Yeah, son. Diddy. Yo, Diddy, you gave me the ooshkash smash. You gave me the ooshkash muaf, the smooth smash. Diddy. Yeah, son. Diddy. Yo, Diddy, you gave me the ooshkash smash. You gave me the ooshkash muaf, the smooth smash. Diddy. Yeah, son.
The way he lifted his lips out.
Diddy. Yo, Diddy, you gave me the ooshkash smash. You gave me the ooshkash muaf, the smooth smash. Diddy. Yeah, son. Diddy. Yo, Diddy, you gave me the ooshkash smash.
He's funny as hell. Okay, back to what we were originally talking about. Okay. Let me share my screen again. If you really want to party with me, I don't know why my computer is moving so slowly. Anyway. Correct. Right. How do you know that? Harassment. Hmm. Yes. I thought I was sharing my screen. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Not Quintasia. Oh my God. Who named that child Quintasia? They need to stop.
It's not like Quintasia, who was not a sex worker, but who claimed that Usher gave her an STD. So I just have questions. But to say he's not a victim, no, just like everybody, you need to give what he's saying a run through before you decide the man is not a victim. But also, like I am with everybody now, I question everything. I don't know. I know I believe she got a settlement. I believe she got a settlement. Now, if somebody knows something different, let me know. Miss Carmen says, remember, she was really young and had an abusive mother and was essayed while underage. She used the industry to get away from an abusive childhood. You're talking about Corinne Steffens. Yes, all of that is true. She alleged abuse from her child's father. She was stripping at an early age. She had ran away from home. She said that she didn't even know how technically to slob on the knob, but her baby daddy would make her do that for hours until her nose would bleed, and that's how she perfected the whole superhead image or whatever. I get all that. That has nothing, in my eyes, it has nothing to do with the fact that you put it in writing that you slept with the man, and now 20 some years later, you're saying you're not sure. It's in black and white. You said it. That's my only question. Why are you backtracking? Buddy says she can't remember because it was trash from the book. After the experience, he said, you're one of the best. I said the same to him when in actuality, he was average. Well, there you go, Buddy Brown. That's a direct quote from her book, talking specifically about her sexual encounter with Diddy. I don't know. I don't know where Elizabeth was Elizabeth Overstreet's head is at. I like Superhead, to be honest. I think she's funny. I think she doesn't give a damn. She makes for a great interview. I would love to interview her, but I just don't know. I don't know where her head is. Bad choice of words. I don't know where her mind is at now. But yeah, let's get to Nicki Minaj. So, Academics posted, the judges denied Roc Nation and Megan Thee Stallion's motion to dismiss the lawsuit in her home, where her homosexual cameraman claims the twerker forced him to watch her have a freak off car sex with a woman inside a moving car. Academics wrote this. The judge has denied Roc Nation and Megan Thee Stallion motion to dismiss a lawsuit where her homosexual cameraman claims the twerker forced him to watch her have a freak off car sex. Okay, this is a run on sentence, Academics. With a woman inside a moving car while on tour in Ibiza, Spain in 2022. Judge Wood says the cameraman, who is gay, plausibly pleads that the alleged sexual encounter in the SUV in Ibiza created a hostile work environment based on plaintiff's sexual orientation. Now, for those people who don't follow Academics is definitely pro-Tory. So any news like this, of course, he's going to repost. So Nicki came in and said, what was the name of that law again? Karma's law, touch not my anointed law, Vengeance is the Lord's law. We give God the glory, and he only just begun. Have a blessed day if you can. LOL, the blogs posting lies. Thank you. More money for me. We're working. Trust. Okay. Couple things. In all fairness, Megan did talk about the fact that her husband is a convicted sex offender, and the law that he broke was Megan's law in her hit song Hiss.
What is
so
it?
she's going to, we get it.
What, baby?
I just don't know if it's worth it.
You can at least watch my tablet.
Did that line like really, really sting her to the point where, 6-7 months later, like, you are the best-selling female rapper of all time. I think the closest number 2 to you in terms of net worth is Cardi B, who just hit 100 million. At the end of the day, no matter what, your dude is still a sexual offender. I mean, to me, that shows that line really, really got to you. That's never going to change. I think she tried to get his record expunged. It didn't work. Now, Nicki Minaj can't really touch her. Nicki Minaj is always going to be Nicki Minaj. She's going to always be iconic in this space. But I feel like continuing this beef to go back and forth with Megan is just it's ridiculous at this point. She posted the song lyrics. These hoes don't be mad at Megan. These hoes mad at Megan Law. I don't really know what the problem is, but I guarantee y'all don't want me to start. I don't know. She also had some stuff to say about
There's always the one who thinks just a little bit bigger and takes you to places you never dreamed you'd go.
Ms. Carmen says, I wasn't speaking of Corinne's adult relationships. I was speaking of her essay from her mother's boyfriend as a minor and physical abuse from her mother. Yeah, she did run away. Oh, I forgot about the husband too. I forgot all about her brother being a convicted offender as well. Let me show you what she then had to say about Jay-Z. Well, don't make me sign in. I don't remember my Rolling Stone.
I'm not playing with him.
Okay, here we go. What's crazy now is knowing these people, knowing the man who writes for Complex, knowing the woman who writes for Rolling Stone. That's so weird to me now. It says Nicki Minaj is making it clear that she is not a fan of Jay-Z. As a super bass rapper continues to make headlines for her social media posts, fans are trying to uncover what led to her public disagreement with the mogul. According to Complex, Minaj's beef with Jay-Z stems from Tidal, a global music streaming service that he co-founded in 2015. At the time of launch, Billboard reported that artist partners such as Minaj were gifted 3% in equity in exchange for creating content and driving value for the subscription service. In 2021, however, Jay-Z sold the majority ownership of Tidal to Jack Dorsey Square Company for $302 million. According to Minaj, she didn't receive a fair amount of the money from the deal. Received a call advising Tidal was sold and they made no money on the deal, so all they could offer me was $1 million. She later alleged that she was scammed and declined the deal. Us Weekly reached out to Jay-Z's rep and Tidal for comment. Let me see. So this is what she had to say. We've calculated about 100 to 200 million so far, she claimed via X. Jay-Z called me to settle this karmic debt. It's only collecting more interest. You still in my top 5 though. Now, I don't have any problem with somebody getting their money. However, in this situation, if title, which technically, does anybody know if it's still around? We would need something to show exactly how much Jay-Z actually got, how much your 3% actually amounted to in liquid cash. I just think that she doesn't feel Jay-Z because Jay-Z and Beyonce still back Megan Thee Stallion. But not to be outdone, the Barbs then went after Mama Tina. Shout out to Sean. Where is it? Tina, let me see. Tina posted something about not going crazy. And the Barbs took that as something to do with Nicki Minaj. Let me see. Now, you know it's bad when we're using Bossip. When we're using Bossip, let's get to it, as the source. It says, merciful matriarch Tina Knowles keeps it cute with curated clapback, seemingly subtly suggests Nicki Minaj is losing her mind. So I'm sitting there like, well, damn, did Tina do this? It says, Nicki Minaj has been airing out her beef with Jay-Z, Megan Thee Stallion, and Roc Nation. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get to Mama Tina. Oh, wow. While one of her babies wasn't mentioned directly, Nicki Minaj taking aim at her longtime son-in-law, his company, and pushing claims he has an illegitimate child were enough for her to post a subtle response. The author and fashion designer reposted a video from a Beyonce and Jay-Z fan page, which shows B praising her mother for the strength she's given her throughout the career. The caption, good morning. It feels good to wake up knowing my faves didn't lose their minds. Y'all have a great day. Remember to ignore the ignorance, as Miss Tina Knoll would say. Now, do y'all think that Mama Tina was taking a shot at Nicki, saying her faves didn't lose their minds, and to ignore the ignorance? Was this was this actually a clapback to Nicki? I had no idea Bossip was still around. That's where it gets messy. Shout out to Sean.
So this is tirzepatide, and it is the #1 weight loss medication available right now. This is not only a GLP-1, but a G.
These were the comments from the Barbs. Tina, now why would you defend a man that publicly humiliated your daughter, the Beyonce, and cheated on her? Don't claim you're hacked once it's fired back at you. Somebody else said, Nicki doesn't lie. The truth always comes out. Just wait. Tell Jay to stop dodging that paternity test. But you was on mute when Ye spoke on your grandchildren. Tina, you good, boo? Let me see. But ignore Kanye talking about your grandkids is wild. Granny always involving herself in business that got nothing to do with her. Let me see. So Kanye called the twins slow, but Nicki, who never mentioned B, gets a shady post. Nicki ain't lying, and this ain't got nothing to do with her girl Beyonce. She talking about her son-in-law. Big difference. The Barbs are really not to be played with
at all. Okay.
Not Beyonce, come get your mom. The Barbs are not to be played with. Let me see. She also posted this. She reposted 50 Cent talking about Jay-Z's long lost son. Now here's the thing. This is not real. It says Jay-Z is trending because the judge has granted Rymir's request to move forward with this case, and the judge has demanded Jay-Z to respond to Rymir's paternity suit by July 18th. This is not true. So Nicki is, oh, sorry, you guys can't see it. Where is it? Here we go. So Nikki is literally retweeting some stuff that isn't even true. I don't know. I mean, it's entertaining, I guess. I doubt that Jay-Z will ever really technically respond to any of this. It doesn't make sense for him too. He's never going to respond to Rymir. Do I believe Rymir has a claim? Absolutely. But Jay-Z is not going to respond to it for like not even a little bit. Let's get into this juror because I have a event to attend tonight. Let's see.
Inner City Press here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today it's Tuesday, July 8th. Now, on the U.S. vs. Sean Diddy Combs, after his 2 convictions with 3 not guilties, today at 2 p.m., there is a hearing on expediting his sentencing. His bail was denied, but the judge seems committed to move his sentencing up from October 3rd. And I'm assuming that Mark Agnifilo and his other lawyers will be asking for time served when the time comes. Now, meanwhile, so we'll be doing that at 2. Instead of it being by phone, which it could have been, since it's virtual for the lawyers, it'll be in the courthouse. But so will we be. There it is right there, the courthouse. But there's been a development. Early in the trial, in the first week, in fact, before the trial's testimony and even opening statements began, during jury selection, we noticed that one of the prospective jurors said he worked at the U.S. office, the UN Office of Counterterrorism. And then he was asked, does that mean you work in any way with U.S. law enforcement? And he said, no. Now, I used to cover the United Nations. In fact, I still do. I write scoops daily about it, but I report on it pretty aggressively. Anyway, I know that office, and they do work with U.S. law enforcement. So it just...
Again, why would Mr. Bean sit there and deny it, knowing damn well that at least his job was affiliated in some way with the government? Mr. Bean, the one I told you about, was trying to meet eyes with everybody the entire time. Why would Mr. Bean do this?
Just sort of stuck in my craw that why would this juror be misrepresenting? And on the second day, they asked him more about it because it wasn't credible. He said, no, we work only with Interpol and something about the Dushanbe process. Okay, didn't think more about him because he's just an alternate. And he knew he was an alternate. Only one alternate actually made the transition to being on the jury. That was alternate 1, who took the place of juror number 6, who was ousted for misrepresenting, according to the judge, where he lived and the credibility issues raised thereby. Now, alternate 6 went on CNN right after the verdict. And he said, first he said he inflated his importance by saying, no one told us who were the jurors or who were the alternates. That's totally false. He was there. I was there. Anyone that covered the trial heard them say, you are alternate 6. Fine. Then he said that the videos that no one saw except the jurors and alternates at the time, he said, they were riveting, but also kind of tame. Now, the question was put to him, he said, the prosecution showed videos of Cassie just sitting around. The interviewer then said, you mean the defense? He said, oh, yeah, the defense. So then he went out of his way to mention 350 pages of notes, which to me, call me a cynic, I believe alternate 6 misrepresented to get on the jury, as we reported at the time. And as soon as it was over, somehow was contacted CNN to mention his copious notes, possibly to sell a book. I mean, who am I to say? Who am I to say except to say it's extraordinary to me that this UN... Anyway, we'll have more on this. We've written a story. You can find it. And I think by going on CNN, all bets are out the window, honestly. It's and the whole secrecy of the trial had a lot of problems, but this is a new low. This is a new low, frankly. Now, what else? Today at 10:30, very soon, we're going to be live tweeting the final pretrial conference in U.S. versus Roman Storm.
Okay. situation just keeps getting more messy and more messy. We got to talk about it. And y'all, it's not just about having a Maury show moment. There is money on the table, which might be why he's fighting tooth and nail, but we're going to talk about it. Like the video's intro plays, we got a lot to get into.
Make it make sense. Could somebody please make it make sense?
Big Mims! Surfer. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things to your dream. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things to your dream. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
Okay, y'all. So I'm not even going to lie. I had to really get reacquainted with this case. But then once I started finding these documents and pulling these strings, I said I had to bring this story to you guys. So you will be seeing a few short videos mixed in with my long form content. Like the video on your way in. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. Let's get right into it. Just a little refresher on Jay-Z and his alleged lookalike son.
Son of Jay-Z's making more headlines than ever, Rymir Satterthwaite's been trading legal traps with the Rock Nation founder, with details spilling out across court docs surrounding his allegations. Here's everything we know about the person suing a billionaire media mogul. For one, Rymir's lawsuit alleges Jayz ignored repeated calls for a paternity test. Per Rymir and his godmother's legal filings, Rymir's mother Wanda allegedly engaging in a brief romance with a pre-famed Jay, who allegedly fathered Rymir with, at the time, a 16-year-old Wanda, who has since died. Rymir's team accused...
Do y'all like how E! News is putting the soundtrack to this, which makes this so much messier? Like it's a cold case.
Jay of tampering with legal proceedings, misusing his high-profile influence with public officials, along with claiming Jayz never outright denied he's Rymir's biological father. Meanwhile, Jay's new filing contends Rymir's lawsuits just the latest in decades-long harassment. Inside the June 16th court docs obtained by E! News, Jay's attorney said the fabricated allegations and claims have been addressed and rejected in multiple other courts. Jay's team also saying they attempted contact with Rymir's godmother and co-plaintiff, but she hung up after they called to request more time to prepare their response. E! News has reached out to both Jay-Z and Rymir for comment, but has not yet heard back.
Okay, just a little, I thought that the music behind that was kind of funny. But anyway, let's get right into it. So this is what they filed. Defendant's request for judicial notice in support of motion to dismiss and motion to strike. Literally, it is, each exhibit is all of the other dismissals dating back to 2010. Order denying petition for genetic testing by the Honorable Doors of the Court of Philadelphia County Court of Common Pleas Family Court Division. Pursuant to Federal Rule of Evidence 201, defendant Sean Corey Carter, this young man's father, respectfully requests, does not say that, or respectfully requests that the court take judicial notice. Basically, they're saying that each time this gets dismissed, and it needs to be dismissed now. Jurisdiction. Once I started getting into this case, though, there are a lot of sticky things. For starters, why has an attorney not taken this young man's case? I talked to Simone, if you guys know, Girls That Legal. She's a good friend of mine. And I was like, the court of public opinion is fighting really hard for this young man. If you weren't the father, how simple would it be for you just to take the test and then you're done? Simone said the other side to that coin is if you take this test, then 100 other people could request tests.
Doesn't matter.
My response to that would be, so what?
Exactly.
Popeyes is getting saucy. New chicken dippers starring Popeye's signature sauce.
Before we get into the money aspect of this, Jay-Z's credibility, Jay-Z's what used to be a squeaky clean image, would potentially be in jeopardy because the girl was underage. I think that it's just my opinion. Don't sue me, Rock Nation. It's just my opinion that he just might be the daddy, but cannot acknowledge that because of what it would do to his reputation. You guys remember that when Jay-Z is innocent of something, he fights tooth and nail.
That part.
Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs' R-word lawsuit dismissed by Jane Doe's attorney.
Right.
Jay-Z fought this tooth and nail, had Rock Nation's Instagram and Twitter putting out smart-ass comments. All of these things were going on when you knew you were innocent. He is refusing to take this test for a reason. Now, you can't always go by what somebody looks like, but Jay-Z definitely has a look. You guys can put in the comments if you think they look alike.
I love it though.
I'm seeing some resemblance. Jay-Z clearly has some strong genes. But even if multiple people came out the window and submitted like all of these complaints to the court, that doesn't mean that they would ever actually go to trial or anything like that. I'm just a lay person, but for me, it feels like he is avoiding this one as opposed to.
This is the thing though. If there were tons of women running around the earth, let's just say, sitting on ready to claim they got Jay-Z's seed or they was, together back in the day and they had a baby together or he made them have an abortion. Like if there were people out there like that, they would already be doing that. They would already be bleeding him dry if that was the case. So this idea that, I'm not going to acknowledge it because it's not true and no, you acknowledge what the hell you want to acknowledge. Your wife said, get your ass on that TV because I ain't playing with you. In my mind. I don't know none of these people. I don't know. I wasn't there. But in my mind, your wife told you, get your ass over there. They're accusing you of, raping a 13-year-old. And we have a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old right now. And she's a girl. So get your ass over there or get your little Rat Pack attorneys and all your people at the Rock Nation. And let's go ahead and go in. Take the test, Jay. Hove. I still don't get it why people running around America calling this man a whole ass god, because that's what it means, y'all. Hove. Oh, now apparently Jay-Z's son is dropping the lawsuit, according to Make It Make Sense. Make it make sense. Push through, make it make sense. Maybe we'll cover that one later. All right. Let's finish listening.
Facing it head on. A simple paternity test would lay this all to rest. Right. You have major news outlets covering this young man's story right after the R-word claims. These are not good media moments for Jay-Z. We're not even getting into Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend backing up some of Nicki Minaj's claims of the Rock Nation stuff, or Rock Nation's president having all of these claims against her from her daughter. It feels like the walls are closing in, but unfortunately for Rymir, filing your own lawsuit and fighting, whether it be the good fight or not, against a billionaire probably won't turn out well.
Hold on.
I understand that the young man really wants to show that his mom was not a liar. I don't think going at this without a team of attorneys will end up well. So I told you guys that it was more than just peeing in the cup. He's asking for some damages, y'all. There is money. Plaintiff therefore respectfully requests restitution of the value of support unjustly withheld, meaning that Jay-Z fought child support and whatever amount he was making from those years, he is owed that money. That's millions of dollars at this point. Recovery of litigation-related expenses incurred in pursuit of relief. Now, I'm not sure what that's about since he has been filing these pro se. So the cost of the suit, okay. and such other and further equitable relief as the court deems just. Also, he wants general and compensatory damages in the amount to be proven at trial, including but not limited to emotional distress, reputational harm, loss of financial support, out-of-pocket legal and litigation expenses.
Thank you.
Restitution and disgorgement of all unjust gains retained by defendant as a result of the wrongful conduct alleged therein, including the value of support wrongfully withheld and financial advantages secured through obstruction and concealment. Basically saying everything that I would have been afforded as your child. And I'm sure that's in the millions as well. Punitive and exemplary damages pursuant to California Civil Code, declaratory relief, declaring that all judgments, liens, sealings, and orders and other court actions obtained through fraud upon the court are null, void, unenforceable, and constitutionally invalid. Now, that's the claims. I think that pertains to the claims that his caregiver made about Jayz doing some unsavory things to her. Y'all, this is also about money. This is not just a Maury court case. This is not just you are the father. And I'm really thinking that is, we know why Jayz can't come out and say this. We know between Beyonce and Solange, and Jayz can't really just be saying I was dibbling dabbling with somebody who was underage. But let's get into that because I told you guys it's a little messy. The initial, you know, I like to do my research. The initial order was kind of messy. And I also brought this up to Simone and we had a little bit of a back and forth. So it was July 16th, 2010. Damn, almost 15 years ago to the date. So 15 years ago and 3 days ago, the judge said, motion for genetic testing filed by mother is denied. There was no service on Sean Carter, who did not appear. As a matter of law, the motion must be denied because mother cannot wait 17 years to name a second person as the father of her child when she identified another person as the father 16 years ago and never attempted to recant that identification until now. Now, that's a lot. But to break it down, she had another man on the initial birth certificate.
I've been baking my entire life, so I love being in the kitchen. And I'm constantly furrowing my brows. So when some of my friends mentioned they got treated with Botox Cosmetic and were happy with the results, I booked my first consultation. Botox Cosmetic, it's been FDA approved for over 20 years. And it's the most studied product of its kind. I'm happy with my results. They're very natural looking.
Botox Cosmetic effects may spread hours to weeks after.
Sorry, let me take this off. She had another man on the initial birth certificate. And Simone says that I think around the age of 8 is when he took a test and realized that he was not the father. I don't like the way this order is written because if the other man determined at the time that the child was 8 that he was not the father, why would she need to recant any story? She's now saying that this man is the daddy. Why would she need to recant that story? There's so many parts of the story. So another man was paying child support, ordered to pay child support, I guess at least until the boy was aged 8. The second thing that they filed, the second exhibit was from the second judge, which was in 2011. It says in March of 2011, appellee filed a second motion for genetic testing, naming appellant. By order dated May 19, 2011, the trial court denied this second motion for genetic testing on the basis that the matter was res judicata as a final order and was entered in the matter July 16, 2010. Basically, they're saying we have already made a decision on this. You're not getting genetic testing. What are y'all thinking? Are y'all thinking Jayz is the daddy?
He just looked like him. I don't know if he would.
I think they look alike. I think that his mom was extremely young. Back then, Jayz was just a little petty drug dealer. So maybe the other man was somebody who had a little bit more money. So we'll say the other man was a mailman. Oh, shit. Hopefully the other man was also just in high school. Because again, she was young. Young kids make mistakes. Young kids, she might have thought that the other man was the father.
With someone else, I love you, Mims, but having sex with someone else isn't a mistake. It's intentional, okay? Anyway, unless you are not aware that it's happening, i.e., you're drunk, you blacked out, drugged out, something like that. So it's not a mistake. You made a poor decision, maybe, to not use condoms or whatever. But allegedly, Rymir's mom is saying they did use protection, but it broke. So, I don't know. I don't know. I have a sneaking feeling that Jay-Z is going to have to present his DNA in some capacity, but I don't know if I wholeheartedly believe Jay-Z's the daddy. I feel like he is, but I also feel like the moment you think you got it figured, you don't. I can just tell you something's afoot. I don't know why he would not just take the test, but you know, I guess he like, I ain't got to, you know. But if it get too bad, Beyonce gonna be back on that hotline, and Solange gonna be in the elevator knocking his ass out. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna stop it here because I have other work to do, and then also I'm supposed to be making peach cobbler turnovers or something like that. I've been wanting to make that for a few days, so that's what I'm gonna go do with my life. So like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go make peach turnovers in my kitchen. So you should, if you're watching now, should just, or if you're part of the replay crew, love all of y'all, all my Chanel's angels, just come on over and watch me make the peach turnovers. It's not something I've ever made, so this should be interesting. So, guys, have a good one. Thank you so much for stopping by Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. Talk to y'all later. Bye. If the sunshine will shine